Howdy, I'm Jason Marino, and today I want to talk with you about serving. Now, serving others can come in many different forms, whether time, energy, or money. But we have to realize that serving is always a part of the world around us. There are so many places where we are being asked to give, whether somebody is on the TV singing us a song about the local animal shelter, or whether we have someone at church that's saying we need to be able to send a missionary somewhere, or even the local school that of course is always going to have needs. Whatever these might be, we realize that we are constantly being asked to serve, but we're being asked to serve from a place of limited resources. None of us are unlimited in time, energy, and money. And we need to be able to point out that whatever we do with our time, energy, and money includes serving, but is not limited to it. So, how can we look at all these really great efforts and really great places to serve and be able to figure out how best to do that with our limited resources? Now, the first thing to recognize is that we do have to take care of ourselves. We do have to be able to do things like making sure that we get enough rest so that our bodies can recover, make sure that we exercise. Even presidents will spend time exercising so that they can still continue to do their jobs. We have to make sure there's a roof over our heads or whatever that might mean to us. We have to then make sure that our energy is being used on the things that we have to take care of. So we have to realize that we do have to care for our lives before we can be serving. However, that doesn't mean that we have to be wealthy or retired or completely unbusy or unfettered by anything else. Rather, we have to realize that we are wealthy of spirit. In other words, if we can get to a point where we are utilizing our resources for what we need and we can be satisfied with where we are, then we can realize that we all have some level of abundance, that where we can share something of ourselves with others to serve them. And so instead of being able to say, I'm going to give all this money once I finally strike it rich, in other words, being able to say, this is who I am, this is where I am, how can I serve with what I already have? Now, second, is to be able to recognize that we're not going to be able to help everyone and everything. So we have to ask, what are the areas that God has placed a natural desire to help onto my heart for? Now, that doesn't mean we can only help the people that we like, but rather the most time, energy, and money will go towards the things that we care about the most. So therefore, we have to ask, are we more concerned right now about homelessness? Are we more concerned about education? Are we more concerned about the animal population? What are we the most concerned about? Because we should help all people when we can, but we have to put our money on the things that God has placed upon our hearts. And finally, we have to be able to recognize that there will be seasons of giving, seasons of serving. Times whenever we can share our time, our energy, our money more than others. And we have to be able to forgive ourselves and love ourselves enough to let ourselves rest during the times when we can't. We have to recognize that when we can, we should, and when we can't, we shouldn't. And being able to distinguish the two is very important to do so effectively. So the questions then that we need to be able to ask ourselves are, have we actually gotten to a place where we see ourselves as having enough? Have we gotten to the point of recognizing where we are called to serve? And then finally, do we know if this is the right season or a time of rest?